where stories begin.
Hello, everybody. I'm sure you might be sitting with a lot of information which you would have already put in order after we last spoke. When you see them now, you might still feel them to be random. You might not be finding any direct connect between these information which you've collected. But then what happens is, when you go through them just once more, you start getting a lot of new insights when you see them. And this happens repeatedly. Every time you pick this information, you go through it, you get a new insight. And those insights are very, very important. However, there will be one thing, in the whole information which you collected which would be constant. No matter how many times you look at it, no matter how many times you try to look from a different angle, there might be a certain feeling, a certain emotion associated with that, either incident or picture or message, which kindles the same kind of emotions when you first saw it, after a long time, obviously. That, my friend, is the core of your story. It has happened with me also. When I was writing Chitrangadan, I've told you earlier that it is connected with my ancestral temple in my native village. I happened to go there more than once. At least I've been there at least 4 or 5 times, and I've traveled by different modes. Maybe by car sometimes, maybe by a two-wheeler, mostly by buses from the nearest city to this village. And every time I went back to the temple, there was a new feeling, a new information, or a new idea I used to get, which I used to note down. Now, eventually, what happened is, when my book took form and Chitrangadan was completed, all these elements which I noticed when I was sitting in a bus, or maybe when I was walking in the temple premise, or when I was sitting near the temple pond, all these elements somehow found a place in my story. Because the core of my story was based inside that temple, and that never changed. So, whatever changes when you go across your information are the elements of the story. What remains is the core of your story. I'd like to explain more of this. Till then, it's Vinod Bhaskar here. Let's continue together. Thank you.
Where stories begin.